Why do some people command attention the moment they walk into a room, while others, no matter how kind or well-intentioned, are overlooked, ignored, or dismissed? What if I told you that earning respect has nothing to do with being liked, and everything to do with removing the silent habits that sabotage your worth? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand why people don't respect you, you'll know exactly what to do to change that. And it starts with one simple shift. Respect begins with you. Respect isn't something you demand, it's something you attract. You earn it by living with integrity, with discipline, and above all, by practicing self-respect. If you've been carrying habits that quietly destroy your confidence or make others question your reliability, it's time to cut them out. I'll be brutally honest. Most people will never respect you, no matter how hard you try. You can work overtime, always say yes, and go out of your way to please others, and still feel invisible. Why? Because respect isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are and what you represent every single day. People see your patterns, not just your intentions. I learned this the hard way. I used to think that being agreeable, kind, and always available would earn me respect. I thought saying yes to everything would prove my value. But in reality, I was shrinking. I was becoming small in everyone's eyes, including my own. It wasn't until I removed the toxic behaviors that kept me playing small, like constantly making excuses or always looking for validation, that things finally change. Respect didn't come overnight, but the moment I started respecting myself first, something shifted. The world began to respond differently. People stopped walking over me. They started listening. They started trusting. So here's the real truth. Respect doesn't start with others, it starts inside. If you don't raise your own standards, no one else will. Let's dig into the habits that destroy your self-respect, and how cutting them can completely transform how others see you. Habit 1. Making excuses. Let's not sugarcoat it. Excuses are the fastest route to losing respect. You might think your excuse is valid. Traffic was bad. Someone didn't follow through. Or life just got in the way. But here's the harsh truth. People don't care about your reasons. They care about your results. I used to be that person, always 5 minutes late. Always with a reason. The bus was late. I had a last-minute call. It never ended. I thought as long as I had a justification, it was fine. But slowly, I noticed something. People stopped counting on me. Friends would say, "We weren't sure you'd make it." My boss would assign key tasks to others. Even my family began to rely on me less. That's when it hit me. My excuses didn't make me look honest. They made me look irresponsible. And worse, they told the world that I wasn't in control of my own life. Respect dies when people see you as unreliable. And here's the deeper truth. Every time you make an excuse, you're reinforcing a victim mindset. You're saying, "I'm not in charge." And if you don't take responsibility for your actions, how can you expect anyone else to? I'll never forget the time someone responded to one of my excuses with a simple question. "Why didn't you leave earlier?" That question cut deeper than any insult. Because they were right. Excuses aren't just explanations. They're subtle lies we tell ourselves to feel better in the moment. But they chip away at our credibility. When I stopped making excuses and started owning my mistakes, things changed. People saw the shift. They knew I was finally being honest, not just with them, but with myself. Now, when I mess up, I own it. No story, no traffic tale. Just, I was wrong. I'll fix it. And you know what? People respect that far more than a perfectly crafted excuse. Habit 2. Laziness. Here's a hard truth. People don't respect potential. They respect effort. You can have the most talent in the room, but if you're lazy, none of it matters. Laziness is a form of silent self-sabotage. It's not just about being tired, it's about choosing comfort over progress. I used to skate by on talent. I knew I could do just enough and still be good enough. And for a while, it worked. People said I was smart, capable, but deep down, they didn't trust me to follow through. They didn't rely on me when it counted. One day, during a group project, I let others do most of the work. I told myself I'd help later, or that my part wasn't that important. But when it came time to present, my lack of effort was obvious. The looks I got afterward weren't angry. They were disappointed. That's worse. I realized then. Laziness isn't invisible. People see it, they feel it, and it erodes respect like acid. Worse, it's contagious. When you're lazy, people around you stop expecting excellence. They lower their standards when you're near. That's when respect dies. The deeper issue here is mindset. Laziness tells you that you can coast, that your value doesn't require effort. But effort is the currency of respect. When you choose action over excuses, discipline over delay, people notice. You notice. So here's the challenge. Stop confusing talent with worth. Your worth shows in what you do, not what you could do. Every time you skip the grind, every time you wait until tomorrow, you're sending a message to yourself and the world that your goals can wait. And guess what? People start treating you like you can wait too. That's why these two habits, excuses and laziness, are so dangerous. They're not just bad habits. They're signals. They quietly tell the world, don't take me seriously. But once you stop making excuses and start taking action, everything changes. People trust you more. They believe you more. They respect you more. Because now, you're not just showing up, you're showing strength. And strength, especially the quiet kind, commands respect. In the next part of this series, we'll talk about another respect killer, seeking validation. But for now, here's what I want you to remember. Respect starts with accountability. It grows with effort. And it flourishes when you stop trying to be liked and start being real. So take a look at your habits. Be honest. Then make the shift. Because the moment you stop apologizing for who you are and start showing who you are, that's when the world starts to pay attention. And trust me, they'll respect what they see. Previously, we uncovered how laziness erodes trust and why consistent effort, not raw talent, is the true foundation of respect. Now, let's take it one step further and explore the habits that silently destroy your image before you even open your mouth. Habit 3. Neglecting your personal appearance. Let's be honest, people notice. Before you speak a word, before you share your ideas, they're already drawing conclusions based on how you look. Unfair? Maybe. But true? Absolutely. We don't like to admit it, But personal appearance matters, not because of vanity, but because it signals something deeper: self-respect. I used to believe that looks shouldn't matter, that people should judge me based on my heart, my mind, and my actions, not the shirt I wore or whether my hair was brushed. So, I showed up to meetings looking like I just rolled out of bed. I thought I was being authentic. But the truth? I was being careless. And it showed. People didn't take me seriously. I didn't command the room. I faded into the background, not because of who I was, but because of the message I was unintentionally sending. I don't care. It all hit me one day at an important event. I walked in wearing wrinkled clothes, unkempt hair, and an aura of disinterest. The way people looked at me changed instantly. They were polite, yes, but dismissive. Meanwhile, others who had put effort into their presentation were immediately approached, acknowledged, and taken seriously. It was like watching two different worlds unfold in the same room. And that's when I got it. Your personal appearance is nonverbal communication. It tells the world who you are before you even speak. This isn't about designer clothes or perfect skin. It's about showing that you respect yourself enough to show up looking put together. That you take the moment seriously. That you value the people around you enough to give them your best. Let me ask you something. When someone walks into the room looking disheveled, what's your first impression? Probably something like, they didn't try, or, they don't care. Now flip that. When someone enters well-groomed, confident, clean, composed, you instinctively pay attention. It's not just aesthetics, it's presence. And presence commands respect. After that wake-up call, I made a shift. I didn't start wearing fancy clothes. I just became intentional. I made sure I looked clean, coordinated, and prepared. The result? People listened more. Opportunities opened up. Conversations flowed differently. Because I was sending a new message. I respect myself. And I respect this moment. When you look like you don't care, people believe you. When you carry yourself with attention to detail, they can't help but take notice. So don't fall into the trap of thinking appearance doesn't matter. It does. Always has. Always will. Habit 4. Ignoring boundaries. Let's talk about something that will crush respect faster than anything else. Violating someone's boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges. They help relationships function in a healthy, balanced way. And when you cross them, whether intentionally or not, you send one loud message. Your comfort doesn't matter to me. I used to be the person who thought involvement meant love. I'd check in constantly, offer advice no one asked for, and push my opinions into conversations that weren't mine to lead. I thought I was helping. I thought I was being a good friend. But in reality, I was suffocating people. I didn't realize that I was stepping over boundaries, not out of malice, but out of misunderstanding. And guess what? People stopped trusting me, stopped confiding in me, stopped respecting me. It all came to a head with a close friend who began pulling away. I kept calling, texting, inserting myself into every corner of her life. Finally, she said something I'll never forget. I just need space. It feels like you don't understand that. Those words landed like a thunderclap. She was right. I wasn't giving space. I was taking over. And in doing so, I lost her respect. Here's what I learned. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. When you honor someone's boundaries, you're saying, I see you, I value you, I trust your autonomy. It's not just about giving space. It's about understanding that people are not extensions of you. They are individuals, with their own needs, energy, and rhythms. Respecting boundaries means stepping back when needed, not taking everything personally, not forcing your way in when you haven't been invited. And the funny thing? When you do that, when you give people room, they often come closer. They trust you more. They open up on their terms. Not because you demanded it. This doesn't just apply to friendships. It shows up in the workplace, too. Maybe you keep hovering over a colleague who prefers independence. Or you overwhelm your boss with constant updates when they prefer brief check-ins. Every time you ignore someone's boundaries, even subtly, you erode respect, because what you're really saying is, my way is more important than yours. But when you start noticing and honoring the preferences of others, whether that's space, time, or emotional bandwidth, respect follows naturally. It's not about being distant. It's about being mindful. The deepest truth is this: boundaries aren't just about keeping people out. They're about creating a safe space where connection can actually thrive. Healthy relationships, personal or professional, are rooted in mutual respect. And mutual respect starts with one simple act: listening. So before you offer advice, check if it's wanted. Before you follow up again, consider the space the other person might need. Because respect doesn't just come from what you say, it comes from what you don't overstep. By understanding the impact of your personal appearance and the importance of boundaries, you're taking powerful steps toward becoming someone others instinctively respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Coming up next, we'll explore the mindset that silently blocks your growth, seeking validation. But for now, take inventory. Are you showing up like someone who respects themselves? Are you honoring the space of others as you want yours to be honored? The more you live with awareness, the more the world mirrors that back. Respect isn't a title. It's a reflection of how you treat yourself and those around you. After understanding how respecting boundaries is key to building trust, we now turn to a habit that can quietly ruin everything you've built: taking credit for someone else's work. Habit 5. Taking credit for others' work. If there's one thing that will destroy your reputation faster than almost anything else, it's taking credit for something you didn't fully do. Stealing someone's thunder isn't just unfair, it's short-sighted. It's a fast way to gain temporary praise and permanent distrust. I've seen this up close. And if I'm honest, I've been on both sides of it. Early in my career, I was hungry to prove myself. I was part of a group project where one of my teammates went the extra mile. They put in the hours, refined the details, and elevated the final result beyond anything I could have done alone. But when it came time to present, I subtly shifted the narrative. I worded things just enough to imply I had done more than I did. I didn't exactly lie, but I didn't correct the assumptions either. And for a moment, it felt good. People praised me. My manager took notice. My peers congratulated me. But here's the thing: truth always finds a way out. My teammate figured it out. Word spread, and slowly, the admiration I had soaked in turned into distrust. People started second-guessing me. The respect I had started to build crumbled in silence. Because once people believe you're capable of stealing credit, they begin to assume you're capable of other things too: cutting corners, lying, undermining others. It's not just unethical, it's a reputation killer. Let's get to the deeper truth. Taking credit isn't about confidence, it's about insecurity. It screams, "I don't think I can stand on my own, so I'll borrow someone else's light." But here's what's ironic. Giving credit doesn't take away from you, it adds to you. It shows you're secure. It shows you value fairness. It shows leadership. Think about the people you admire. Are they the ones who hog the spotlight? Or the ones who elevate the team? Who say, "I couldn't have done it without them"? Success built by stepping on others isn't success, it's survival. And eventually, it collapses. I've watched people lose friendships, promotions, and incredible opportunities because they got labeled as the one who takes credit. That reputation is nearly impossible to shake off. Because when you rob someone of recognition, you're not just taking a task, you're taking their pride, their validation, and the trust they had in working alongside you. If you've ever found yourself guilty of this, here's how you fix it. Acknowledge it. Own it. Go to the person and say, "You did more than I gave you credit for, and I'm sorry." Moving forward, be the person who shares the spotlight. Say things like, "This was a team effort," or "I had help from someone great." You'll earn far more respect by lifting others up than by climbing over them. Habit 6. Being emotionally reactive. Now, let's talk about something that quietly poisons every room you walk into: emotional reactivity. This isn't just about yelling or breaking down. It's about letting your emotions run the show, your decisions, your words, your actions. When people see you as reactive, they stop trusting you, not just with leadership or responsibility, but with vulnerability, conversations, and even friendship. Because reactivity signals instability. There was a time when I was ruled by my emotions. One slight comment, I'd shut down. A bit of criticism, I'd lash out or spiral. I thought I was standing up for myself. I thought I was being strong. But all I was doing was proving I had no control. And people noticed. I became the person others tiptoed around. Not out of fear, but out of exhaustion. They didn't know what version of me they were getting: calm and composed, or explosive and sensitive. Here's the hard truth. People don't respect someone who can't manage their emotions. They may sympathize, they may even care, but they won't respect. Because strength isn't loud, it's composed. It's being able to take criticism without breaking, to navigate conflict without burning bridges. Who do we admire? The person who stays calm under pressure, who doesn't panic, who can hear hard truths and respond with clarity. That's not weakness, that's real power. And if we go deeper, emotional reactivity is often about fear. It's a defense mechanism, a shield we raise when our ego feels threatened, when we're afraid of being seen, questioned, or criticized. But here's what I've learned. The world doesn't owe you emotional protection. People won't shape their behavior to avoid triggering you. And they shouldn't have to. If you want to be respected, you have to be stable. You have to be someone others can rely on, even when things get hard. I once worked with someone who, anytime their idea was challenged, would either get visibly upset or start shutting down. No one wanted to brainstorm with them. No one invited them to collaborate. Why? Not because they weren't smart, but because their emotions made them unpredictable. And unpredictability doesn't build trust. It builds distance. Here's the turning point. I realized that emotional control doesn't mean suppressing everything. It means feeling everything, but choosing how you express it. It means taking a beat before reacting, breathing before replying, pausing before responding to conflict. It's not easy, but with practice, it becomes your default, and the change is powerful. People start to confide in you, to look up to you, to follow your lead, not because you're always right, but because you're steady. So if you've ever taken credit you didn't fully earn, if your emotions have gotten the best of you more times than you can count, let this be your wake-up call. Respect isn't a performance. It's a daily practice. It's in the choices you make when no one's watching, the way you handle tension, the humility you show in admitting your flaws. It's in how you treat others and how you treat yourself. Let go of shortcuts. Let go of prideful outbursts. Choose integrity. Choose composure. Because in the long run, that's what earns you real, lasting respect. Stay tuned. There's more to come. Previously, we explored how emotional reactivity can silently sabotage your reputation. Now, we'll close with a deeper look at how self-control and integrity are the ultimate markers of real respect, and why eliminating toxic habits is the path to becoming someone others look up to. Being emotionally reactive doesn't make you look strong. It makes you look unstable. People may sympathize with emotional outbursts, but they don't respect them. You might think that showing your emotions boldly, whether it's anger, sadness, or frustration, proves that you're passionate or authentic. But what it often reveals is a lack of control. And nothing repels respect faster than someone who seems like they're one spark away from an explosion. We've all seen it. The person who can't handle feedback without getting defensive. The colleague who storms out when a meeting doesn't go their way. The friend who bursts into tears or lashes out every time there's a disagreement. You don't admire that behavior. You probably feel uncomfortable, maybe even embarrassed for them. And guess what? That's exactly how others feel when they see you lose control. But let's dig a little deeper. Why are we so reactive in the first place? It usually comes down to one thing: fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being judged. Fear of losing control. So we react quickly, hoping to reclaim some sense of power. But in doing so, we lose the very thing we're trying to protect, our dignity. The real power is in restraint, in pausing, in responding, not reacting. When things around you are falling apart, and you remain calm, that's strength. That's composure. That's what earns respect. The Stoic philosophers knew this well. They believed you can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Your response is your power. And I'll never forget the moment I truly understood that. I was in a heated argument with someone I deeply cared about. Voices were rising. Tension was peaking. I could feel the urge to snap, to say something sharp and hurtful just to win. But something in me paused. I took a breath. I listened. I calmed down. And instead of attacking, I opened a real conversation. That moment saved the relationship. If I had reacted emotionally, I would have burned a bridge that meant the world to me. That's what emotional control gives you, not just respect from others, but peace within yourself. Let's be clear. Respect isn't reserved for the flawless. It's earned by those who are self-aware, who are willing to confront their weaknesses and do the hard work of growth. You can be smart, talented, even charismatic, but if you constantly make excuses, take credit unfairly, act out of emotion, or ignore boundaries, you're undercutting your own potential. Think about the people you admire most. They're not perfect, but they are consistent. They're dependable. They don't flinch under pressure. And they don't let their worst habits drive the car. If you want to be respected, start by being someone who respects themselves enough to change. Drop the excuses. Face your reactions. Own your behavior. Because at the end of the day, people don't follow words, they follow example. Here's the core truth. Real respect isn't demanded. It's earned quietly through consistent action. And every single day, with every habit you either break or reinforce, you are either earning respect or eroding it. This isn't about being someone you're not. It's about unbecoming the person who sabotages their own credibility. It's about letting go of what's holding you back. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be honest. Honest about the habits that keep you small. Honest about the reactions that cost you trust. Honest about the way you carry yourself and treat others. Because once you commit to that honesty, the transformation begins. People will start to notice that you don't make excuses, that you own your mistakes, that you show up with self-control, with care, with presence. And that presence? That's where respect starts. It starts when you walk into a room and people feel your composure, not your chaos. It starts when your words match your actions, and your actions come from intention. It starts when you stop trying to be liked and start becoming someone who's worth listening to. So take inventory. Are you sabotaging your own respect with behaviors that feel familiar but aren't serving you? Because every habit is either a bridge or a barrier. Remove the ones that block you and replace them with self-respect, consistency, and strength. That's what draws people in. That's what earns lasting respect. And most importantly, that's what sets you free. Because people don't respect perfection. They respect progress. And progress starts when you get real with yourself. You've got this.